Hello, my name is Laura Chung, and I am the author of How to Manifest book. Thank you for being here. Today is February 23rd, 2023, and today is day 34 on our 40-day journey. We're going to talk about abundance mindset today. Yesterday, we spoke about healing your scarcity mentality, and we're going to build upon that today. And if you have been joining us all along, we've just been building and building and healing and coming more into alignment with ourselves. So as always, I'm going to pull a card. Right now, we are in Pisces season, and we have Jupiter and Venus in Aries. So we're having a major activation in the cardinal fire sign of Aries, getting after what we want, getting after what we desire. So let's see, what is the main energy for today? What is the message? Ooh, the world. The world came out again. I think it came out on another day. And we have the Magician and the Nine of Swords. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. So the Nine of Swords is Mars in Gemini, which Mars is in Gemini right now. It's finally going to leave into Cancer on March 25th. But Mars in Gemini, the Nine of Swords, is all about thoughts that literally stab you in the head. They're thoughts that no longer need to be a part of your reality. Thoughts like of regret, thoughts of self-blaming, self-harming. And then we have these two majorly different energies, the world and the magician. The magician is all about manifestation. It's using the essence and the skills and the elements that you already have to communicate to the universe what it is that you want. The world is a completion. And the world is the last card in the major arcana. You're ending a cycle. And so I think with these together, it's like learning how to heal limiting beliefs, beliefs that maybe aren't serving you anymore, and really coming into this manifestation energy with the magician and the world here. This is really what Pisces season is all about. It's all about letting go. It's all about releasing. So today is day 34, cultivating an abundance mindset. Abundance is about being rich with or without money by Susie Orman. I really believe in the power of aligning your intentions with your highest timeline. Of course, it's great to dream as big as you can. We've explored that since the early days of this journey. But it's also a good idea to create a vision that aligns with your values. Because when you manifest without taking the time to do that, you may realize that the result doesn't actually make you any happier or satisfied than you already were. For example, many of you may be manifesting a high-paying job. If you get that job, will it make you feel safe, secure, and joyful? Will it make you feel supported? If you set your intentions on the things that are aligned to your highest timeline, that are representative of your values, morals, and soul's mission, then you'll find that your manifestations will be more likely to satisfy you in a holistic, abundant way. Manifestation based on abundance leads to creativity, love, reciprocal intimate relationships, and generative opportunities that will bring you to joy. Getting to them will require of you to really look at what you value. You will only know this by truly valuing and truly knowing yourself. Manifesting the life of your dreams is about expressing who you really are and feeling whole within yourself. Today is about feeling whole and abundant in spite of the material circumstances of your day-to-day world, which is difficult. It is our human birthright to want material things. After all, we came to this world having a human physical experience. I am also advising you to want those things, but to not become too attached to them. Why try to manifest money and physical things when they aren't what you ultimately desire? When your goal is money, you'll never have enough. A stack of bills will bring you a temporary hit of pleasure, but inevitably that feeling disappears. When you feel whole and complete already, you are magnetic, and wealth of all kinds comes to you. Money, an extremely hot person who wants to date you, a really nice car, are all great on their own, but are all limited resources. Physical money is just the thing. A nice car is fun, but will break down. It's fun to date a hot person, but what if they don't support and celebrate you or make you feel excited about the world? As they say, a person cannot complete you. You can, however, work on yourself. When I worked at a corporate job, I was making six figures and had a top tier health insurance, a 401k, and all of the financial security I could ever want. But because I wasn't aligned to my soul's calling, I never felt like it was enough. I experienced an incessant feeling of dread and lethargy. And so I finally decided to quit that job because I knew that even if they offered me $1 million to stay, no amount of money would make me happy. Money isn't everything, but it definitely helps. It plays a huge role, obviously, and you shouldn't blame yourself for wanting to see a full bank account or to have the ability to buy that coat you really want. If you're worried about bills, it will be difficult to stop thinking about manifesting the money to pay for them. But remember that money is a man made concept. We talked about that yesterday. It dates back to the establishment of the first cities in Mesopotamia around 3000 BCE, when representative money became a more efficient form of exchange than grain, which is how people previously paid for goods and services. With the advent of representative money, farmers switched to depositing their grain in the temple, where they would receive a receipt in the form of a clay token that they could then use to pay fees or other debts. The money that we know today replaced the barter system, gift economies, and so on. So there was always some form of exchange. We don't even print money to represent its worth in gold anymore. So we've become even more detached from its actual value. Money is made of paper. Paper is made from wood. In reality, the actual value of money is less than a couple of cents, and money is the cause of so much worry on a personal and societal level. The catalyzer of mergers and acquisitions, wars between countries, and often pretty much the primary controller of our minds and lives. That is why we have to simultaneously give gratitude to money when it comes to us, but not be too attached to when it leaves. We have to allow it to flow through us like the energy it really is. This is why I'm leading you on this journey. Ultimately, what you are manifesting is becoming an open channel to abundance of opportunities and creative ideas, which will help you to create the life that you want. Abundance means truly being in the flow. So that's why I wanted to reframe manifestation as not just the acquirement of things, of a person, of more money, but actually understanding how to be in the flow of yourself, being in right relation with yourself, knowing how to discern, how to understand your own energy and your own feelings, because ultimately, our outward environment cannot affect how we feel internally. The internal shift has to happen with us first. All right. So, this is all about values. And I just wanted to share a very quick story because I was in Cartagena, Colombia for 9 days. And um, I shared this story, I think, like yesterday or 2 days ago when we were talking about scarcity mentality. And I'm a history buff. Like, I love learning about the history of the places that I visit because I feel like it's very important. I'm a visitor to a country, so I want to be in right relation to the land and the people. And so Cartagena was the second largest slave port after Brazil. And Cartagena and Colombia specifically was mined for its gold, silver, and emeralds. And obviously, people know for the coffee and all different kinds of natural resources. And so when the Spanish came in the early 1500s, that's when they started colonizing Colombia, and they needed, well, I don't necessarily think need is a good word, but they brought Africans over from the western part of Africa to Colombia to work in the mines and work in the fields, and then started enslaving people. Okay, so through many, many different generations, right? They stripped Colombia and other countries, but I'm specifically talking about Colombia because I was just there, of their natural resources. So they took all the gold, all the silver, all the emerald, and kept it into the city of Cartagena, which is why they built that walled city, because it kept getting it was like in the defense of pirates, because they were storing those resources to ship to Spain through many, many generations and time, because that was like what, 506 years of colonization. The locals now, who are Afro-Colombian and indigenous people, were made to think that they were poor, even though their country was rich. And this is, again, I talk a lot about this in the scarcity mentality chapter. And also, I learned all these things through my podcast, the Work podcast. And I interviewed Milagros Phillips, who's a race healer. And so we have to understand where our scarcity mentality comes from. And so, again, when we go back in history and we think about why a country was colonized in the first place, is because they were the rich ones. Okay, countries at the equator where there's an abundance of food, abundance of resources, and over time and through generations, the people believed in lack, the locals, right? Even though their country was the wealthier one. And so if your family has ancestry in Colombia and you immigrate to the United States and you think that you're poor or your ancestors were poor, that's something that you need to heal, because that was a trauma from colonization. Similarly, if you came here as an immigrant, you might have left your home country because there were no jobs there, right? So that's what I'm saying, like healing your belief in lack and scarcity and coming into an abundance mindset requires you to understand the history of where your ancestors are from and where you are from and the country that you live in. It all matters, because if you grew up believing that your ancestors were poor and they had nothing, then 99% of the time you might also believe that. Whereas in reality, your ancestors probably had all the resources, were from a country of kings, African descendants of Africa. They were kings, queens, engineers. They had their own lives pre-colonial times, right? But we only hear the history and the story of slavery, and that's not the entire story. So I just wanted to bring this up because your ability to manifest is so tied to your history and your epigenetics. And so when we think about like abundance, just like Ilana Van Sant writes in her book, Acts of Faith, abundance has nothing to do with how much money you have. Abundance is a feeling. It's feeling rich and having rich feelings. To understand abundance is to create what you want without fear. Okay, so again, manifestation, it's so tied in how we see ourselves and our world and how we see abundance and scarcity. If you don't feel safe, how are you ever going to feel like you can manifest a lot of money? And sometimes that money is withheld from us, not because we've done something wrong, but because the universe wants us to manage our money, the money that we currently have, because you have to like get your shit together in order for you to call in more. Okay, so the exercise for today is abundance journaling. What do you define as an abundant life? Because abundance means more than just money. Keep track of all the forms of abundance you witness in your notes app or by hand in a small notebook. Every time you experience abundance, make sure you take a moment and acknowledge it. Remember, what you appreciate appreciates. Here are some things you might add to your list: a beautiful sunset, coffee from a friend, a hug from your mom, your sister laughing at your jokes, your friend saying she loves you, a beautiful comment on Instagram, a cute puppy video, getting a raise, standing up for your beliefs, a newborn baby, vacation, that feeling after cleaning your space, laughing so hard you cry, your health, your mental clarity, fresh air, nature, Wi-Fi. So just make note of all the abundant things in your life. And the go deeper exercise is a core values exercise. So there's a bunch of words here, and your job is to pick 3 that are your core values that resonate with you. So one of mine is magic. I want to live a life of magic. I want to see life as this beautiful tapestry of awe and synchronicity, and that my life and every moving moment and every breath that I take is a sacred devotion to the divine and to my spirit. So magic is one of mine. But for some of you, it could be freedom. Some of it, you could be values, family, tradition, travel, trust, boldness, collaboration. And these values help you to remember what's important for you, what's important for your life. If you say that family is something that you deeply value, do you spend time with your family? Do you make time for your family? Because again, like, how you know what you value is what you spend your money on and what you focus on. So, anyway, that is the topic for today, abundance mentality. Looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow's day 35. Take inspired action. And as always, if you want to buy the book, it's available on Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, bookshop.org, IndieBound. And if you want a personal one-on-one reading with me or a Reiki session, all the links are down below. Have a beautiful day. Bye.